Hello, welcome back to It's New. We got almost everybody, but Mordy decided to go ahead and die on us, I guess. I'm not sure what's going on with him, but he may or may not be alive right now. We don't know for sure. And if he is dead, and I said this, and it looks really, really bad if he died. So hopefully he's not dead.
He's having a medical procedure.
That's why I said it. But I don't know if everybody's supposed to know about his medical procedure. We don't know what that is. It might be a very sensitive topic. Can you be more specific?
No, I cannot. I'm not going to get into it. No, I've probably said too much already.
I think it might be HIPAA violations there.
Oh, no.
I'm sure he's fine.
We'll see. If he comes back tomorrow, we'll find out.
It's probably Botox. I'm kidding.
All right. I'm going to be talking about some Google search ranking algorithm updates that may be kicking into gear, Search Console performance data, and then ongoing ranking volatility. What do you have for us, Greg?
Google is telling a ad type to lose its number.
And Crystal?
More UGC and product ID on your GBP.
Awesome. Yada, yada, yada. Play the music. And Google search, according to, well, actually, this is interesting. So I'm surprised other sites didn't cover this yet. I was offline, and on Wednesday and Thursday, Glenn Gabe wrote a really great headline, an article called A Nightmare on Affiliate Street, how Google is picking off sites one by one that are violating its site reputation abuse spam policy. Now, that article is great in itself. It's basically talking about how Fortune recommends and Forbes Advisor and other sites that are doing like these review subcategories and websites are getting like showing ranking declines. We covered a bunch of it in the past, and Glenn did a nice summary of it. And then he followed with Google's Danny Sullivan, the Google search liaison, and he sent two statements. One is the site reputation abuse policy is still not being tested in the wild. It's not algorithmic. It's still being manual, which again, Google said they would tell us if it was algorithmic. And I was afraid to ask Danny because he'd be like, as I told you on this date, whatever. And then he also sent a statement saying our systems aim to understand if a site of a section of a site is independent or starkly different from the main content of the site. This helps us surface the most useful information from a range of sites. And then sent a statement from 2019 from the Google Search Central, X account, talking about we've been asked if third parties can host content in subdomains or subfolders from others, and basically goes on about subdomain hosting and so forth and stuff like that. And it seems like whatever Google algorithm had back then that tried to detect if a subsection of a site was totally talking about something completely different than the main section of the site, that it upped that algorithm to say, hey, we are going to go ahead and demote sites that kind of are doing that. And this is why sites like Fortune that talk about stuff, whatever, and then they go ahead and have a section about reviewing, I don't know, what type of procedures Mordy having? We could talk about
CBD gummies.
Then it doesn't make sense, like for that site that's content to rent. And I know Mordy, if he was here and he wasn't having some type of medical procedure, he would be saying, I've been saying this from day one, since before I was alive, that you should stay in your lane. So that's what he would say.
Morty does love a lane. It's true. It's true. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because a lot of people seem to be veering out of their lanes really frequently.
Barry, so the first comment was attributed to Danny Sullivan. The second one was just a Google spokesperson, right? How is this not the site reputation abuse policy? And if this is not that, what is? Like, what is that?
Super interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very similar, and that's why we all thought it was site reputation abuse, but it is not, because it's not algorithmic yet. It's similar, but it's not the site reputation abuse algorithm. So that's just fact. It's just basically saying, is this content completely off target from the main site? And if so, maybe it shouldn't rank, because it's just, I don't know. It does seem site reputation abuse-y. You're right.
Yeah, this is another example of things being just overly complicated and very tricky for any webmasters out there. Like, okay, so this is not that. Great. Then what is site reputation abuse, and how did site reputation abuse like morph into you have to be employing these people? Like, I never got why that got morphed into that. Like, they have to be people that are on your payroll and that aren't third parties. No, that's not what it should be. They should be like things like this, like Forbes Advisor, where you're talking about CBD gummies instead of talking about wealth and business.
Yeah, I mean, Google's policies do morph. I mean, remember the no follow attribute, which launched in 2004? It was initially for just comment spam and to avoid, like, to discourage spammers from spamming your site with comments and spammy links. And it morphed into everything about the world, about SEO.
Yeah.
And now we are where we are. Any event, talking about morphing, the Google Search Console report this morning has morphed to show like today's data, which made everybody go nuts. Like the whole entire SEO world woke up and they're like, my rankings, my impressions, my clicks to my website have dropped off. Google has demolished my website. I'm doomed. And then we look closer. It's like, why is it showing today's data? And John Mueller confirmed it is a bug or some type of issue. He said, and me quote on LinkedIn, he responded to me saying, it's an issue on our side. The team is looking into it. Thanks for everybody noticing and letting us know. This wasn't meant to replace your traditional morning wake up beverage. Well, it did. It got me really going. And let's see, if you see significant drops in your Search Console performance report for today, it is a bug or it's showing today's data, and today's data doesn't have much yet. So keep that in mind. You should not go ahead and, panic.
Yeah. It is quite, I'm looking at one right now and it's quite a drop off a cliff. So I can see why people were freaking out, but
yeah,
hang fire, everybody, hold in there.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of people over the weekend talking about search ranking volatility again on the 26th and 27th, and when I was offline on the 23rd and 24th. So it's unrelated to the Search Console stuff, is unrelated to that, but just keep in mind that there was significant ranking volatility over the weekend as well. Greg, up to you.
Yeah, at this point, we should just pre-record you saying there's search ranking volatility again. We just hit
know.
play and we can just go right again. Something that is new and fairly large in the Google Ads space is that call ads will be sunset sometime next year. That was according to Ginny Marvin, the Google Ads liaison. Call ads were pretty unique ad type for SMBs, and instead of sending people to a website, you gave people the ability to just hit a button and make a call to you, and you were billed on the call and if it was connected and things like that. Again, if you're in the service industry, a lot of people don't like web leads and things like that, so it's a very popular ad type. And what is going to be replaced with this is a call asset, not extension. It's now an asset. And what that will show is you can still have the link to your website. You can still have the call button there, but it's not all clicks go to a phone call. So that's a pretty big difference here, and will impact a lot of SMBs and local businesses. So if you had call ads, you need to add some more text in there because a lot of it was optional and nobody ever used it. So if you're running that, you need to get to RSAs is sort of the main takeaway there. And then one other kind of crazy thing that was seen in the wild was a Reddit product carousel search snippet within Google. And the example, I don't know the exact query, but it looked like somebody searching for some sort of phones, and pulling in from Reddit was, the normal discussions of forum Reddit posts, then some comments. We've been talking about that as they've been beefing up more content. But then from the comments, it seems like there are mentioned products. And in this case, there's Apple iPhone, the Google Pixel 8, and a bunch of the different things that somehow Google is matching up with their product feed to what is being talked about in Reddit, which seems like a pretty difficult task to be able to go through, parse all the comment data and try to match that to product data. But for all these examples, it seems like it's like opinion based, I would say. Like it's like, I haven't looked at it in the wild, but it's like, what are your opinion on Puma sneakers? And then you see all these different comments and Puma sneakers. And I think this is important for Google. I think this is a good thing. That's one thing that they are shying away from with AI overviews is doing product reviews and comparison data within AI overviews, which I think is what people are always looking for, right? If I'm looking for what is the best running shoe, I don't want to just say running shoes are good. You can buy running shoes for wide feet. You can buy them for narrow feet. I want to see like actual reviews. So I think this is pretty interesting. I still am going to click on a comment and read the comment before I go to the product. So then I might have to go back to Google. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. And I'm assuming that these just take you right to Google Shopping when you make a click here.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they go, but it does seem like this part of some type of Reddit partnership that Google has with their feed. I assume Reddit's pulling or sending and pushing some like product data along with it, so Google can match it to their shopping graph. But I'm not sure. I found that very interesting. So nice coverage over there. And then I know, Crystal, you found some interesting, or want to cover some interesting Google Business Profile tests.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of Google Business Profile, as everybody who works in local also is, and they have been testing profile pages with reviews within the reviews within photo carousels. So they're now testing showing reviews within the photo carousel, and you can see there's an article on SE Roundtable that shows the reviews with the images in a nice carousel. It looks really engaging. It's really interesting, and I this is really cool. And I think it should get more people leaving reviews and more people looking at the reviews as well. And they've got some quote cards as well. So the example that they have here is auto station, and there's a quote there that says, "I dropped off my car and they had me out in no time with a complimentary loaner," which I think is a good win for local businesses. So shout out to David Art Hills at David Art Hills for spotting that.
I just can't wait for Google to actually show like negative, like 1-star reviews. This company
Yeah.
stinks.
Right. My state came out and it was weird, like that sort of thing. Yeah, that would be on. And then we have Google Business Profiles are also going to be asking you questions about your inventory. So somebody's seen that as well. They've just updated their documentation to include this. It apparently doesn't show for everyone, but if you have a physical location and you're selling physical objects, you may see this as an option. So the example that they have there is like, do you sell your inventory, women's body warmer? Do you sell that? And according to the documentation, basically, once you start getting these questions, then you can also go in and update your answers. So this, I think, is good because sometimes people will sell something and then they'll stop selling something. So let's say you had this particular, like, I don't know, an astronaut Lego set, and then you don't have the astronaut Lego set anymore, but people keep asking you, you could go back and say, no, we don't have that. So once you have the updates, or once you have the option, you can go back and go to products manage, and then you can manage your updates there as well.
Yeah. And talking about documentation updates, Google just quick note, updated the URL structure documentation, their favicon documentation, and added a new document for Google Trends. All pretty minor. Nothing's really significant, but just thought I mentioned that at the end. In any event, thanks so much for listening, and we'll be back tomorrow, maybe with Mordy at that time. I'm not sure. Hopefully, we'll find out. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.